7.89 miles, 8 minutes, 33 seconds per mile. Felt pretty good out there today, but I intentionally was trying to ease off the gas and take things a little bit easy. Wanted to give my body a little bit of a chance to recover because I still feel a little bit groggy, felt a little bit heavy in the legs. Even kind of felt like my knee was a little bit stiff as I started running today. Had a relatively high mileage week, one of my highest mileage weeks that I've had. So I wanted to pull back just a little bit. And one of the things that I want to talk about this week is the different ways that I take in caffeine. A lot of you who have kind of watched my morning routine video, which I don't really have much of a morning routine, or gone through like what I eat in a day, you guys know that for breakfast, I typically only have some coffee. Sometimes on the weekends, I might have coffee and some sort of carb like bread or muffin, or if there's cookies available, I might have some cookies before I head out. But caffeine is kind of the main component. But also I have a lot of caffeine just generally. And so here's some different ways that I've been taking in caffeine throughout the day. And one of the main ways is through my energy gels that I take on the run. The Clif is my favorite brand of gels. I first started eating Clif blocks and I really like those. The fruit punch ones I think are quite delicious. But after a while, it just got a little bit cumbersome to me to chew on a gummy and run at the same time. And so I then at that point switched to gels and I just stayed with the same brand, Clif. I like the lemon, or there's like a lemon or a citrus lemon one. That one has 25 milligrams of caffeine, and I have been loving the mocha one, which has 50 milligrams of caffeine. And this one, which is the double espresso, although I think it's called espresso on this one, which only further exacerbates Americans' inability to understand the word express and the drink espresso. But this one has 100 milligrams of caffeine, and a lot of the ingredients are organic in it. So I decided to give this one a try. I had it on my run today. I normally wouldn't need it for a run of that distance, but I wanted to make sure I tested out this new flavor a little bit. It's a lot thinner than the mocha, so if you've ever tried the mocha and thought it was just too goopy, this might be the one to try. And I thought that the 100 milligrams of caffeine would be a little bit too much to have. A cup of coffee has 200 milligrams of caffeine on average, and so the 100 milligrams seemed like a lot, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the flavor of this because I do enjoy the flavor of black coffee, and this reminded me of that quite a bit. And the 100 milligrams of caffeine was nice. I never feel like when I eat the gels that I'm getting like I've had caffeine. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like a nice little pick-me-up. After my runs, I've been drinking a lot of Nuun. Now, normally I don't really like Nuun because I've always thought that it kind of reminded me of Powerade. It had that, I don't know if it's carbonated or not, feeling to it. And the flavors really weren't all that great. I prefer Gatorade, but I've been drinking Nuun this summer because last summer I felt like I wasn't taking care of my hydration well enough. And I found this, which is Nuun. It comes in these little tubes, and you get these like tablets, these capsules that you'll just drop into your water bottle. So I drop them into my clean canteen with some ice water, and I give it a shake. And usually when it doesn't dissolve fast enough to completely dissolve the first time, so I'll it'll make me drink 2 clean canteens worth of liquid for each tablet that I'll dissolve in there. And so that's really nice. I enjoy this mango orange flavor. I generally, for sports drinks, I like things that are in like the citrus kind of realm. And this flavor is really nice. It has 40 milligrams of caffeine, which again is not an amount that I normally notice, but I like the fact that it's in there. And then the last thing I'll talk about is this, which are caffeinated mints. Now the ViterMints company reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to give them a try, if I'd be interested in their product. And I generally like things with caffeine in them. And so I said, sure, I'd definitely intrigued by this product. And so they sent me 2 tins. This one is spearmint, and the other one was wintergreen, another flavor that was in a blue tin. I didn't really particularly enjoy the flavor of the blue one. This one is not my favorite flavor of mint either, but I like this one better than the blue one, so this is the one that I'll talk about today. The mints themselves They are you know, about the size of an Altoid, and the consistency is somewhat similar to that, but the Altoid kind of dissolves a little bit cleaner. There's something about these mints that they break apart really fast when you eat them, and it almost has like a medicine-y kind of feel to it. I don't know if that's the caffeine that does that or what that is, but there's just a flavor to it that's not minty, but it's more medicine-y and in an unpleasant way. Like Altoids are kind of medicine-y too, but in a minty way. And so it's hard to describe that is, but there's something to my palate that's a little bit off-putting. But if the caffeine delivery were great, I could probably put that aside. Even though these have only 50 milligrams of caffeine in them, whenever I eat them, it hits you with a jolt of caffeine in a way that was uncomfortable to me. And even for this caffeine addict, that was a kind of a weird feeling to have. And so every time I ate them, I don't know if it's because I'm getting like all 50 at once, or maybe because of the way the mint dissolves in my digestive system, that it's just hitting me all at once. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when I get the 50 milligrams in the mint, it seems like way more caffeine than the 40 milligrams that I'm getting in the Nuun, and even more than the 100 milligrams that I'm getting in the Clif Shots. And it even seems like more caffeine than if I drank a cup of coffee, even if I chugged that cup of coffee. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my mind because I'm getting the caffeine in a different way than I'm used to. I'm not sure what it is, but it seemed like a little bit too much caffeine all at once. It was an uncomfortable kind of punch of caffeine. So I was actually hoping for something a little bit more mellow. And so I never found myself reaching for more than kind of one at a time. Other caffeinated products I've tried are things like No-Dose, which are like caffeine pills, which only have, No-Dose I think only had like 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. So each like dose was only a cup of coffee, or maybe I had a little more. It's been a while since I haven't had it since college. And then also in college, there was a product that was really popular for a little while called Water Joe. I don't know if anyone's ever had that, but that was a caffeinated water. And I don't think caffeine actually has a flavor in and of itself. And so they would just add it to water, and within like whatever the standard water bottle size is, you would get about 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. So it would be about the same as a cup of coffee. And so those were two products that I tried a lot but I was very interested in college. But I just never enjoyed those. And I think that for whatever reason that I didn't enjoy those, I'm not a huge fan of the mints. I think that like the delivery of it just didn't feel right for whatever reason when it's just kind of chucked in there, which is why this product is so surprising to me, is that I like this one, because I would think that it'd be very similar to these in that they're products that like caffeine doesn't belong in them, and so it seems weird, whereas this has more of like a coffee flavor and it feels like caffeine belongs in it, and so that makes a little bit more sense to me. But these are two products that I do like. This one, I'm not saying that it's not a good product, but it wasn't something that I was a huge fan of. So I appreciate that they sent them to me. I'll probably just leave them at the office in case anyone else wants them. But in terms of a matter of preference, not my favorite thing in the world. Because it was actually too much caffeine. So in that regard, it might be the exact right thing that you're looking for if you're looking for like a really quick pick-me-up, and for whatever reason, if coffee upsets your stomach. And I know there's a lot of people out there, especially runners, that don't drink coffee because of the way it interacts with their digestive system when they're running. So if that's the case for you, this might be something that's worth at least giving a shot, and if you need a little bit of extra caffeine. So these are just 3 of the caffeinated products that I have been trying, in addition to the large amounts of coffee that I normally drink. Let me know if you have any questions about any of those. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?